What did my husband find? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I slept like a baby last night. I'm not excited at all about this. Whatever. Oh, gosh. Kid in a candy store. Hey, get out of there. All right, guys. It's around 5:45 a.m. We're just getting up and getting our coffee. And today, we're going to pick up Bruce. I'm just waiting for Cameron to get up. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Got about a 6-hour drive to Princeton, Minnesota. We're going to get going here in a little bit. And we have packed our gear for Bruce. So we have, of course, our get home bag. And then some other 6-ton jack, some tooling, some more tools and equipment. This is the multi-engine operator. This is literally how it was written back in the 60s and 70s, is like in these cartoonish, in this cartoon form for the Army. We have the original GTA 9-1 inspection procedure that goes through all the inspections that we're going to do on Bruce before we bring him home. So, next thing we're going to do is coffee. So, there's the man.
What?
There's the man. How'd you sleep?
Great. Good. Yeah. Are you ready to get Bruce the Deuce?
I was like a little kid last night. I couldn't sleep at all. 42 years old. I'm still excited about crap. That doesn't make me sleep. What's up, guys? JT here from Blackout Survival with Cameron
From Prep and Patriot.
from Prep and Patriot, and we're going on a trip. We're going to Princeton, Minnesota.
Out in the nowhere.
Out in the little nowhere. Like, if you see where we're at right now, like, it is nothing but like farm fields right now. We're not even to Minnesota yet. Like, we're in the back country of Wisconsin right now.
Yeah.
We got about a 5-hour trip. We're going to pick up Bruce the Deuce.
What is Bruce the Deuce?
What is Bruce the Deuce?
It sounds intimidating.
And when you see it, you will be intimidated.
I'm sure it will be.
No, Bruce the Deuce is an old 1971 M35A2 Army personnel carrier. If you don't know what that looks like, I'll put a picture up on it. But that's what we're going to pick up. And
I'm so excited.
I'm super jazzed. These things, I drove one of these things like 15 years ago.
Okay.
And it's literally, I had the time of my life with this thing. It's loud. It's like shifting gears is like this.
Uh-huh.
It's bouncy. It's an amazing experience. So we're going to pick that up. But I guess the question is why? I went the extreme route because there's a couple different ways you can look at this. I went the extreme route. So I went, instead of trying to find like a
Truck or car, isn't it?
a 72 Chevy pickup truck or whatever, or a Bronco, right? I was in the military, did 10 years in the military. I wanted an old military vehicle, but the military vehicles are just built super well, especially the old stuff. Like, old stuff is built to last. So these trucks are literally built to last. It's got a Hercules engine, which is a multi-fuel engine, means I can put whatever I want as long as it's combustible in, and it will run engine. This is what I think would be pretty EMP proof, because again, the only thing electronic on it is the battery, the headlights, the starter. Now you may think, well, the starter could go bad. You're right, but there are other modifications you can do, like air injection starters. Like, you have this tank, which the Bruce has an air tank on it because it's got air assisted brakes and all that.
Right.
You can literally put an air starter where you inject 150 psi worth of air. As long as there's air in the tank, you can get that starter to turn over, which means you can get that engine to turn over. And if you don't have air in your tank, you can have a hand pump to pump that tank up. It'll take a while, but you can do it. Outside of that, it's the amount of metal. I mean, this thing's all metal, steel, and iron. Like, not like the cars today where it's just
Plastic
like the
pieces
frame
all
is
over.
metal and everything else is plastic. This thing is all steel. So the grounding of this thing, like that's the key that makes this less EMP prone to have an effect on, like an EMP have an effect on this vehicle, is the amount of steel in this thing where the ground can go.
Right.
You know, so it's all grounding out and all this other stuff. So in my view, Bruce is one of those vehicles where, like, we're going to deck him out.
Yeah.
And not deck them out with technology. We want to keep the nostalgia of the old school
Of course.
military vehicles, because everything's original in this thing and it works. Like all the gauges, fuel gauge doesn't work. We got to figure that out. So we got a project there.
Okay.
We need to add extended fuel tanks so
Yeah.
we get extended range.
So right now it's, go ahead.
50 gallon tank.
Yeah.
So Bruce gets between 8 and 11 miles a gallon,
Okay.
all depending on what speed you're going.
Yeah.
So if you're going 55, you're getting 8 miles a gallon. If you're going 45, you're getting 11 miles a gallon. It's crazy. So we got to put fuel tanks on them. I'm going to put a bigger air tank on them.
Yeah.
We want to upgrade his lights to an LED package. So we got to do some things to him. So we're going to have some projects ahead of us.
Okay guys, we're going to stop the video here and I'm going to explain kind of the next part we're going to get into. So far we've talked about Bruce, what he is. He's an old 1971 M35A personnel carrier, cargo carrier truck, and we've kind of went through the makeup of Bruce. He's 95% mechanical and only 5% electronic. Only a few electronic systems on him, and we're going to get into in this next part why Cameron and I prepare in the first place. A lot of people prepare for different reasons. World War III, nuclear Armageddon, civil unrest, so many different reasons why people prepare, and we're going to get into why Cameron and I prepare in this next section. So I wanted to lend context to that because I just started filming again. We didn't storyboard anything out. We just kind of like hit record and just started having a conversation as we were driving up to pick up Bruce. So I wanted to give context to this next section.
What we're preparing for is basically the sun unleashing a massive solar flare that's going to take out most, if not all, of technology, power grids, cell phones, anything with a semiconductor, it'll take out. And this has happened before, 1879-ish, I always get the date wrong.
1860s?
In the 1800s, late 1800s.
Yeah.
An event called the Carrington event happened where it basically took out the entire telegraph system, which that was the only technological thing in that time. And it was like setting telegraph wires on fire and things like that. So imagine that same level of solar event happening today.
Yeah.
That's a nice house.
It's a very nice house.
Squirrel.
I was about to say that.
Squirrel. I mean, bringing this full circle back around and kind of landing this plane, we're not in a good scenario where we're at. If an EMP were to hit tomorrow, even though we have enough provisions to last us for about a year, I don't think we would survive a year because we would get raided in less than a week.
Yeah.
Because people see this big yard, they see my garden, so they know I garden. They may not know I'm a prepper, but they know that I'm gardening, and when they see garden, they see food.
Yeah.
And then they come knocking on the door. And the first time it might be nice, hey, I was just wondering, the lights are out and all that, do you guys, the stores are empty, you just got a can of something. No, man, don't got a can of anything. No, man, I know you got a garden out there. You got something, man. No, I'm sorry, I can't help you. All right. And then he goes home, and then that night he's coming back with 3 guys with guns, and that's it, you're toast. So I'm in a bad location.
Or you go the opposite direction and you do give him something. Now he knows you've got something.
Yeah, now he knows you got something. So you're screwed,
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point in the video, we've talked about why I'm going to pick up Bruce, why I'm buying Bruce in the first place, and there was a couple different reasons. One wasn't explained in the video, and I feel it's important to share. I've always been into the old military vehicles, and these things are getting harder and harder to come by, and they're getting harder and harder to come by with them in running condition. And Bruce was in pristine running condition. he's almost museum quality, and for the price I got him at, I couldn't pass him up. So I wanted to preserve that, just a little piece of military history. So that's one reason why I bought him. And the second reason why I bought him is Bruce is my bug out vehicle. He is practically EMP proof. He has no running electronics other than, you know, the headlights and the starter. And we kind of explained in the video what we would do about that to mitigate the risks of the starter. And at this point in the conversation, we were just talking about, you know, an EMP, a solar flare. The sun is huge. It unleashes solar flares all the time. We're in solar maximum. It's only a matter of time before it unleashes one that's going to take out our power grid. And when that happens, you have about 3 days to either bug in or get out of Dodge. And our original plan was to bug in because we're here at home. We have all of our stuff at home. We're safe here. But then I realized, based on our location being just 20 minutes north of a big city and an hour and a half north of a major city, Chicago, I realized that our property, even though it's 2.5 acres and we can grow all the food we want, and we have chickens and freeze-dried food, it's not in a good location. It's off a main road, and it's not set back very far. So I got to thinking, like, this is not, we would get raided within a week. Like, this is not, we need to adjust our plan. So we bought Bruce with the intention of bugging out if and when the lights go out. We would load everything up in Bruce and we would head out, which is one of the reasons why, the main reason why we bought Bruce. So from here on, we had some more discussions. We kind of bounced around topics, and then we arrived at the location where Bruce was. We didn't film any of that because I didn't know if the owner was going to be sketchy about it, and I just started videoing again, so we didn't video any of it. We took some shots of Bruce, but we didn't do any kind of like formal interview, or we didn't talk about him while we were there. We did some inspections. He looked good. Took him for a test drive, and we started bringing him and we started on the road back home. And we're going to pick up with me in the cab of Bruce, and I'm only going to play a little bit of this clip because it is so loud in that cab. I was literally screaming just to try to get my voice above the engine. So we're going to pick up there, and then I'm going to come back in and interject throughout the rest of the video, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, so that cab is super loud. I almost lost my voice after that because I was shouting so loud in that thing. So Bruce is loud, but from there we drove about 150 miles, and we were just trying to milk Bruce and get him home safely without incident. So we ended up stopping at a hotel for the night, and we're going to pick up the next morning. All right. Now morning 2. We stopped last night. Bruce did pretty good. And like I said yesterday, like the wiring harness up here started like sparking when I used the turn signals. So we had to run without turn signals last night, which was fun. But we're here, we're doing our morning walk around. We'll get Bruce back on the road after we eat some breakfast. So, got about 4 hours to go. All right, we just got breakfast. We met a really cool old World War II Vietnam veteran. I'll show a picture of him. Really cool guy, and I'll talk more about him later. But yeah, for now we're gonna get on the road and trying to get this thing done. We need gas, so we're going to stop for gas or diesel real quick. So I want to give a shout out to Jerry. Jerry was an old World War II vet that we met at breakfast. We literally pulled into this no-name restaurant for breakfast before we got on the road, and Jerry and his son and his daughter-in-law were walking out. He saw Bruce, and he used to drive M35As back in Vietnam, and to see the look on his face when he saw Bruce and he approached me and he shook my hand, just the smile on his face and just the memories that brought back, like, for me, that was like a sign that we made the right decision. Like, the reasons why we bought Bruce, yes, he is our bug out vehicle, but the other reason of just preserving working military history, to see a veteran who has given up so much for our country, for us to like bring that joy to him, to see something that he used to do in his past life, it just brought a whole lot of warm and fuzzies for Cameron and I. So Jerry was really a really cool guy, and that's what we're going to do with Bruce. Like, we're going to parade him around, we're going to run him in parades, we're going to take him to events, we're going to let, you know, Vietnam vets and stuff climb all up in him. And, you know, that's the cool part about having, you know, a piece of history like this, is you can preserve it, and you can bring joy in other people's lives, that have run these machines in the past. So in any case, shout out to Jerry, really cool guy. I wish him all the best. I hope to meet him again, but I wanted to give you guys context of it was a sign from us that, you know, Bruce was the right call. So from here, we continued to drive the rest of the way back home, and didn't have any issues with Bruce. We ended up making it home, and we kind of pick up with my wife kind of filming us pulling in, and we're gonna kind of close the video out here. And as we move forward, just, you know, as we start producing videos more and more, I'll get back into the swing of things. I used to do this for a living, you know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So we'll get back into the swing of things and make it, you know, a higher level of production value. But I want to take you guys on this journey with me as we start working on Bruce and start replacing parts and you know, upgrading him and just getting him back to, you know, fighting strength. He's in pretty good strength now. I mean, it's a 50-year-old vehicle that just did a 360-mile trip with one minor electrical issue. I mean, we're dealing with 50-year-old wire in this thing, so we're gonna replace the wiring, we're gonna make him safe. But the fact that he's over 50 years old and he still runs is just amazing. You know, props to the previous owner who just took such good care of him, and we're gonna do the same. We're gonna treat Bruce with as much respect as he has earned and deserved. So stay with us, guys. Follow us on this journey. As we get Bruce back up to his fighting weight, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
That's huge.
All right, guys, we made it home with Bruce. He's here in one piece. Overall, no mechanical issues whatsoever. Bruce ran great. A couple electrical things I've already explained before, but this thing has a ton of brand new parts that came with it, different control boxes, a coolant heater, lots of projects ahead. So stay tuned for the projects coming ahead. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next video.